morning,
Good morning.
everybody.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
morning. We, of course, as always, we're coming from three different locations this morning. I'm in Hazen, North Dakota. Josie's, where are you at?
I'm in Spearfish today, Spearfish, South Dakota.
Okay, perfect. And then this morning we have Dr. Denise McDonough with us, and Dr. Denise is in Bismarck.
This
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're excited to have you. I've known Denise for a while, and I think she's just a really intelligent, interesting woman. So we're going to learn a little bit about her today. And why don't you tell us, Denise, just a little bit about your employment background, just so we kind of have an idea of where you come from in that way.
So I had an interesting journey with my employment. So I'm going to go back kind of like what got me into being a physician is I was
Okay.
employed as a medical laboratory technician. So that was my initial background into medicine and had the opportunity to work with Dr. Williams. I watched Dr. Williams, who at the time was a cardiovascular surgeon. Got to watch one of his surgeries, and when I was actually working as a med tech, and that was what really made me excited about going into medicine was watching that open heart. So I worked as a med tech for 5 years before I actually went to medical school. I decided to have two babies first. That was, just add a little bit more to the mess. And then, so I
I'm
went
sorry,
to
where was this at? Where were you at that
here
time?
at St. A's.
Okay.
St. Alexis is where I worked.
Okay.
So I then went to applied to medical school, went to medical school at UND. And my family actually stayed here in Bismarck for the first 2 years. And then I attended med school here in Bismarck for the last 2 years, for the third and fourth year. And then I did my residency here in Bismarck. My first job out of residency was actually at Med Center 1, now Sanford. Worked there for 14 years. Had the opportunity to do full scope family medicine. That means I delivered babies. In fact, when I think back, I did the math the other day. I probably delivered at least 2,000 babies. So periodically, when I'm
Holy smokes.
actually out in the community, I'll have a like a young 19, 18, 20-year-old say, "You delivered me." And it's like, I may have delivered them and taken care of them and they moved away and I just lost track of them. So, I mean, there were a lot of families here that I took care of for years and I know them very well, but periodically I'll run into someone like at a restaurant or somewhere that they'll come over to me and say that I delivered them, which is kind of cool. So anyway, I worked there for 14 years. I did inpatient. So I took care of my patients when they were in the hospital and took care of them even when they were maybe got sick and had to go to the nursing home. I followed them there and then took care of them in the clinic as well. So I took care of the full scope of family medicine for the first 14 years. And then my kids were teenagers, I would say. And it just got to be too much. So I changed jobs. I actually went to teaching. I taught at UND residency for 2 years. Love that. Love teaching. Teaching is fantastic. Being able to interact with people who are just really love the knowledge and hungry for learning is wonderful. Didn't much care for the academic administration. So I did leave that after 2 years. It was just not my niche. It's too laid back. I am somebody who I have to have nine irons in the fire at the same time. That's just my personality. I married someone like that too. Steve does the same thing. It was too laid back for me. I'm not that person. So I did go back into practice at St. Alexis for outpatient only for 2 years, I believe, over in Mandan. And during that time, um, I met Dr. Joy Freilich, and we actually planned a clinic together, outpatient private clinic called Independent Doctors. And we opened that in 2015. And we actually had a really awesome clinic for 5 years. And unfortunately, that closed. And when that closed, I did go back to CHI, which was St. Alexis, for 2 more years. And then just decided I really am I'm just not cut out for working for someone else, I guess is the way to put it. I'm just not that person. So I did go do locums this last 3 years, which was really fun. Going out and working in the smaller communities, it's been really very rewarding. They just need physicians. They need providers really bad. So that has been a very rewarding experience. And in addition to that, I have my skin business, which that's just my love. That I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. So that's my work.
Tell us about, there's so many questions, Josie, you probably have a bunch also, but so many questions are popping into my head as you're speaking, but you mentioned your skin business. So let's talk about that right off the bat. What's the name of your business and what do you specialize in?
So Skin Reflections is the name of my business. And that I actually started, it actually wasn't Skin Reflections at the time. We started doing medical aesthetics when we opened our independent doctor's practice. So that would have been in 2015. I initially did my hands-on training and everything in 2014, and had actually started preparing for all of that back in 2013 even. So, and I've always loved skin. That rashes, things like that. My partners always kind of asked me questions about that because I really like skin. Skin is kind of one of the things I love doing. And so all the way through my practice, that's something that I really enjoyed doing. So essentially, we started doing aesthetics in my independent practice. And then my partner didn't really want to do it anymore, and I didn't want to fight about it. So my husband actually encouraged me to just open my own place. So I did open Skin Reflections in 2019 in the hair district. I love the fact that I get to do something for people that makes them happy. I get to help them with their self-esteem. And it's often people just have one thing that they don't like. And so you don't really have to do like a huge makeover, or there's just something people don't like. Even if it's just, finding them a face wash to help with their acne or something simple. I've had people come in who have a thin lip on one side, and we put filler on one side just to make them symmetric, and they're just ecstatic. It's wonderful to be able to help small things like that and just see the change in their expression and how they feel. So, and then I also found personally that I was getting Dysport, and it was so expensive. It's almost out of like the average person's, people can't afford it because people are charging so much. So we've been trying to keep it at my practice, we have Dysport days where financially it's a little bit cheaper. I can have a lot of people come in and we open one bottle and we use it. That means we make a little money, people save money. So it's a win for me and it's a win for them. So I feel like we've kind of established a good balance of I didn't like paying a lot of money for it. That's, I mean, I don't feel like people should have to pay that much. So, and it's also really fascinating to see all of the things that people are doing. I like to do things that are evidence-based, that we are going to see a result from. I don't want to, I don't tend to, grab a trend. That's, I too many things that are trends maybe end up causing problems. That's just the way I see it.
Agreed.
Definitely
And
right
I
on
mean,
that.
right.
Yeah.
We can reference my threads that I had done, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen the destruction that it did to my forehead.
Right. And you
yeah.
don't, people don't have to have much training. It's
Right.
they just start doing them, and
Right.
and they maybe don't have any idea where to put them. So I guess in the case of like threads, I would like probably not get them around here. I mean, I'd go someplace where people do them, a lot of them, all the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah. So they know
Right.
what they're doing. And I personally am not a huge fan of threads. So
Right.
that's just my personal opinion. I think if you probably got them somewhere where the person who's putting them in, and I might even say a surgeon, plastic surgeon, or a physician who's putting them in does them all the time, and they know where they're anchoring them, then that's probably a good person to have them put in. I personally don't put them in because I don't think I'd put in enough. And I don't feel like I would have the skill that's needed. And I see what happened with sutures when I actually cut out lesions and I put in a suture. If I put in a deep layer, not everyone absorbs those. And I just see that a thread potentially could do the same thing. If you don't absorb them, you're going to scar around them and they're going to encapsulate, and that's going to be a problem. So and especially on a face, people's faces, you don't want to do things that are going to be a problem like that, because that potentially could be a surgery. And who wants to have a surgery on their face?
Right.
That's kind of where where I come from.
Yeah. I think just hearing you talk, it's like expertise is super important, honestly,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the cost thing. Okay, so if I were to like compare the two, I would go for expertise, right? Versus just going from
Well, yeah.
somebody who can
Mm-hmm.
just, yes, I can do it. Like, no, like this, this is not small stuff. That's what
No, it's your face.
it's your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what everybody sees every day. And
Yes.
people are coming in to have one little tiny imperfection, or a lot of people will come in, which I also see, that have a lot of self-esteem issues. And I am not going to fix that by putting filler in your face. I am not going to fix that by doing microneedling. I'm not going to fix that with a laser. You need to fix that up here. You need
Do
to
you
work.
literally say that to people? Do you
Yes.
tell them that? Good.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
I turn people away. I am not going to charge someone a whole bunch of money when I know that that's their issue is not in the skin, that they need to be working on other issues. I mean, a simple little like scar, I can fix that. But there are deeper issues that people need to work on. And yes, I do say that. I'm a blunt person. I think people found me that way when I practiced medicine. My nurse always said that, Dr. McDonough, you need to have a mirror in there so people can touch their makeup up before they leave, because I made people cry sometimes. But I talked about things, and I'm not scared to talk about things that might be hard for people to talk about, and maybe make them cry a little bit. Because if you don't talk about it, it's not ever going to be addressed. and don't bring things up that it's just not going to be addressed. So, yep, I turn people away. I mean, I've had moms ask me if their 16-year-old came in if I would put filler in their lips, and I absolutely not. No, a 16-year-old never needs filler in their lips. We do not need to start this at 16. No, 16-year-olds have beautiful lips. They have fat in their lips. They don't need to replace something that's lost. Their faces are perfect. Maybe we need to work on acne, but we don't need to make them look unreal. That's just ridiculous. In my, we're creating a society that expects everyone to be perfect, and we're not. No one is symmetric. Nobody's perfect. We need to accept what we look like and who we are. Like, I don't have every single line gone. I earned these lines, every single one of them. I am a grandmother. I am going to keep my lines. I want to age gracefully. I don't want to have as many lines as I maybe would have if I wasn't doing microneedling or using a peel or using good cosmetic medical grade skincare. But I'm not going to make all of them go away because they're mine. They show that I have kind of gone through a little bit, maybe learned a little.
Yeah,
So
wisdom, right?
yeah, right.
Things are earned that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
super powerful, and I hope people really listen to that. You know,
yeah.
that's a message that a lot of us, men and women, need to hear, honestly.
Right. And I think the trend is to going in that direction. I
Me too.
think we're starting to see that people are dissolving or not using as much filler and those kinds of things. Like, I'm going to admit, I put a filler in my lips, but I don't have any lips. So as I've aged, the fat is gone. And I have this skinny little line, and I just like to see a little bit of red, just a little. you know, I don't want to have duck lips. That's not for me. But I do have a little bit of filler in my lips, and I feel better when I can actually see them. And if I put lipstick on, I can see the lipstick.
Mhm.
So maybe once every, I think the last time I did it was 2022. So I just had Sophie do it for me. I'm going to say 3 weeks ago, but I don't have like lips like that, and I won't. They're not for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't get rid of all of my lines. I don't care. That wasn't the purpose.
Awesome.
So you've
So
brought up microneedling a few times. Is that your favorite treatment for your skin,
I
or do you have something again affordable for everybody maybe that is going to give you bang for your buck? What's your favorite
I
thing?
I really like microneedling because it builds collagen, and collagen does help smooth out lines. So when I was doing the locuming, I kind of let that go. So I started microneedling again in January, and I feel like my lines here have softened a lot. And then I did do the PRF Easy Gel, which is the more natural filler that helps stimulate collagen. I've done that once, and I'm going to do that again here probably in 4 weeks. So I feel like by the end of this year, a lot of my lines will be a lot softer. But that's all things that are building collagen. That's taking advantage of your body's healing process, and not things that are. I don't like to use the word artificial because it's not necessarily artificial. They're not as temporary. A lot of the fillers last 6 months to a year. The collagen building things like PRF, the things that we're using your body to stimulate, like microneedling, those things, you still have to do them to maintain, but we're actually stimulating your body to build collagen with them. And I prefer to do that.
can you explain what microneedling is?
So essentially,
The
we use
process.
a device that has, I think it has 17 needles on a tiny little head that's about the size of a pencil, that we can control the depth of how deep they're going to go into the skin. And we have to make sure that it's at a 90-degree angle so that it doesn't tear the skin. We put a topical medication on the skin to help it glide, and then basically numb the skin so that you don't feel anything, because we are going into the layer of the skin where the nerves are. So we basically numb your skin, and then we basically turn that pen on and it vibrates up and down. And I think it's like 60 times in a second. I mean, it goes up and down very quickly. And we basically make thousands of little holes in the skin. So we're causing an injury to the dermis, and that injury in turn stimulates the healing process. And that healing process basically leads to building collagen. So they do make the little roller thingies at home that you can use at home, but they don't go as deep. So I can control how deep I'm going when I'm doing microneedling. The depth, like on the forehead, usually I can go 0.5 millimeters, maybe 0.75, depending on your skin. And we really don't want you to bleed. Bleeding can cause hyperpigmentation. It definitely can make the melasma worse if you have a tendency to have melasma in your skin. The deeper I can make that, the more I'm going to stimulate the collagen building. So I'm going to try to go as deep as I can, but I don't want you to bleed. So you really have, the technician really, or the person who's doing it, really needs to know what they're doing. Now, I've seen videos on YouTube and Facebook that show people just bloody, and yes, it's like, that's not our goal. We don't want people to be bloody. We definitely we want injury to the skin, but we don't want bleeding. So we want a minimal amount of bleeding.
Got it. I was just listening to, I can't remember the doctor's name, but he was talking about bone. And when we work out, it creates these micro breaks, injuries, in the bone to create more bone, right?
Correct.
Our bodies are magnificent in that way. So
Yeah,
that's exactly what you're doing.
Right. And if you sit around and do nothing, then your bones get soft.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Same with our
So
skin.
essentially, we're doing the same thing to skin.
Okay. Perfect.
And what helps, so we add PRF, which is we draw your blood, we spin it at a certain speed, and we take the platelets, the growth factors, and the stem cells off. And after doing a microneedling, we put that on top, and that absorbs into those little holes. And that in turn also stimulates more collagen building. And what we found when we do that is people heal faster. So the downtime is less. So rather than having 3 or 4 days of being red, you'll have 1 or 2 days being red. So so we usually, if people are really not wanting to have that injured red looking skin, PRF shortens that time. And we also use, at Skin Reflections, we also use a biocellulose mask the night we do the microneedling, and that hydrates, and it's amazing how quickly that skin heals. So I have found that combination, your downtime is so much less. We didn't used to do that when we first started. We just let you use just like a topical lotion, unscented, and healing time was probably 5 days. Now I'd say you're probably almost back to normal at 3. It's pretty quick. Yeah, so, but yet you still get that healing advantage. Because microneedling, you have, it's not just in that 5-day period of first 5 days where you actually get improvement in the collagen building. It lasts for up to 3 to 6 months. You're still building collagen. So it's a long-term collagen builder.
Excellent. Is this how you guys met? Was this way through care, or was it something outside of that?
How did we meet, Andy?
I think so.
Yeah. And then we kind of talked it. Like, I think I met with you a few times personally for other things. So I just think Andy's like the best businesswoman ever.
Isn't she?
She's just so
great.
smart.
I know.
She's
Thank
a
you.
very smart lady.
I think one of the things, like you kind of just mentioned, and Josie and I have talked about it before, having a community of women, um, who are kind of have the same mindset as you, like you were talking earlier about like you have 9 irons in the fire. Josie can relate to that. I can
Yeah.
relate to that. I think having that community of women is super important. And so I think I gravitated towards you when I first kind of heard what you were doing. Um, and my sister went to medical school with you. Like the
Oh,
Yes,
interesting,
right. Uh-huh.
the cool thing I think about living in a state that we live in, there's so many connections all the time, isn't there?
There
And
are.
I
Mhm.
love that. Oh,
Yep.
I absolutely love it. But
Yep.
do you have a community of do you have a support team? Because being a business owner, a lot of times we stand alone, and
I would
I've found
say
value in
that
that.
I know a lot of business owners. I know a
Mhm.
lot of them, but I've never really sat down and met with them and talked to them and stressed out with them. You know what I mean? I mean,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people in the community who own businesses, a lot of women. Um, but I feel like a lot of us just sit up and just kind of trudge through on our own. I think that's just kind of what we do.
Right.
But I could tell you, I probably know, mm, I would say I can think of 10 right now, just offhand without even putting any time into it.
Right.
And we just kind of, I think we just like don't, I don't know if we're just too busy or it's hard to find a time to sit down and talk. Oh, I know more than that. I know a ton of
Yeah.
people.
No, you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
where do
a,
you draw? Where do you? Well, I mean that brings us to the personal side of Dr. Denise is, what, like, how do you spend your free time? Do you have, tell us about your family. You mentioned your husband. You said
Yep.
he does what I do, or so what does he, those types of things.
So
Tell us about
he's a
your family.
multitasker. And I think that, so he always has 10 irons in the fire. Now he's retired. So,
Mhm.
and actually, this year is the first year that he's actually been retired. And I think he will stay retired. He retired 3 times. So that's his personality. It's hard to stop. It's hard to, hit the pause button and just not be involved in a lot of things. But this year, I think he's done. So last year he was actually working at McKinsey Health. They talked him into coming back and going to work for them. So he is now officially done. He is not going to work anymore. I think it was 2 years ago actually that he worked for them. So he's probably been a year and a half of where he hasn't worked now. So now he's just like cleaning house and doing yard work and
Nice.
walking dogs and taking pictures
Nice.
and camping and doing fun things. I am, last December was my last locum job. And I still am not sure if I'm going to do more of that or not. I have all my credentials. I can go do it. I still have a company I'm working with. I've just said no every time they've asked me so far, because I feel like I now am Skin Reflections. I'm there all the time. I feel like I want to devote like all of my time to making that busier and making it a bigger business. We're moving to a new location. It's going to be slightly bigger. My spot is very tiny. Right now, we have less than 200 square feet. The new spot's going to be 450 square feet, so it'll be double the space. But it's gonna be ours. We won't be inside of another business leasing a spot. So it'll actually be our spot, which will be a lot of fun. And so I've been focusing on getting my webpage up to date, which I had no idea how to do. But I have found that marketing has been really, really frustrating to find. And when I have found it, they haven't done anything. I don't know if you all have found that, but I've found that frustrating. So I'm learning SEO and all of the, what I need to put in my web page and how to use WordPress. And so I'm find that always learning, always doing something. Plus, working on getting our new space taken care of, and I have policies and manuals I need to get finished, and we'll get there. So I have Sophie working with me now, RN, and my goal is to expand a little bit more, but we'll see. Right now, economy is not the best, so that always plays into everything as well. So, but for me, like hobbies wise, I have a garden. I have, I love to cook. So if you're, I don't watch TV, I watch cooking shows. So when we travel, I inevitably purchased like cooking cookbooks that were from the country we traveled to, so that I purchased whatever spices that they would use that I couldn't get at home, so that I could cook or try to cook their cultural recipes, because it's like that's one of the things I love to do. I love to cook. And my kids, I do have three grandbabies who are fantastic, and I have been able to spend a little bit more time with them. I got to stay with them for a week, which was fun. Three little boys, and they are wild and have tons of energy. Other hobbies, I would say, well, I have three dogs. They're my babies now because they're at home. I have my oldest son lives in Kentucky, and it's been a little while since I've seen him. We do talk to him every week, and then my daughter lives here. So my Nicole and I spend a lot of time together. So that's kind of all my free time. I mean, I have stuff I enjoy doing, but I feel like every spare minute right now has been just trying to get everything up to date for moving to my new spot, essentially.
Is your goal to bring another doctor on?
I would like to see at least an advanced practice practitioner. I am not 20, so what I'd really like to see is that skin reflection continues and doesn't die. So that's my goal, is to, because it's been a lot of effort to put into this, and I would like to continue. Like everything that I have read, and I don't know if you guys have read this too, but women tend to start businesses when they're in their late 40s and 50s, and they tend to work longer than men. That's their CEOs tend to be in their late 40s or 50s of companies, or big companies tend to be older, because we raise families and then we start doing stuff. So my grandmother worked until she was 78. So I still feel like I have a little bit of work left in me, but I want to have my goal of my business is to hire like mid-levels. I would love to see a physician take it over, but you never know. You just never know what'll happen. So that's kind of my my goals, but you just never know what's going to happen in the world. So
Andy and I talk about that a lot. Like, yes, we have a vision, but
mhm.
then it's someone else's plan from there. Like
Yeah, exactly right.
how it might come about, it might not. It's just at least
May
we're
or may
working
not.
towards something, Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and you have to hope, right? Andy
yeah,
was successful.
yeah.
She sold her business.
I'm thankful every day that I found someone who wanted my business, because that is, I even remember meeting with a lawyer when I was kind of new to it all, and he said, "Your business will die with you." He told me that, and
Mhm.
I kind of I haven't. He's still my lawyer, and I
Mhm.
still haven't really kind of shoved that in his face, because obviously it didn't. So I think what you said, what you want for your business, I think if you put that out there and that's what you
Mhm.
want, that's what you'll
Mhm.
get.
So my whole philosophy on how I want to run my business is different. I would love to have the people who work there be like have a stake in the business. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't feel like I need to own everything. I want them because I feel like people work harder when they own it, when they actually get something from it. And they're going to stay then. I think they're better employees. So I haven't yet spoken to a lawyer, but that is kind of one of my next moves is I really would like to see like Sophie's a fantastic employee. She's wonderful. And I would love to see her be able to work for a goal. Like part of the company could be hers. She could have stock in the company. I would love that to happen because when people work hard, they should get rewarded, in my opinion. And this is a teeny little company. So if she can be rewarded from that, that'd be great.
Mhm.
So, and that's my thought of something that's different than being employed by a huge corporation. They're not going to do that for you. So I feel like that's a way to attract some good people. But I also feel like you have to be very particular about who you offer that to.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, and you worked in corporate, like you know the
oh,
difference, and you know even what your energy level might have been for someone else or not, or you know what I
so
mean?
I started out not working for corporate America when Med Center One was more of a physician owned.
Mm,
And then it was corporate America. And it was like, I don't like corporate America. I don't feel like it gives good physician. I don't feel like it gives people good medical care. I just don't. I feel like medical care has just gone down bad, bad direction.
yeah.
And I hope that someday we get it back. But right
Yeah.
now, I don't feel like going to Sanford or CHI is the same as it was 20 years ago. I don't, I think we've lost some quality.
Right.
That's a whole nother
That
podcast, I
is,
think.
yes. I
We
was
could
just
spend a
thinking though,
whole podcast talking about that.
well,
Yeah.
look at how many, I mean, PTs and like family practices and like people have went on their own. Like
Yes, they have.
it,
And there something has driven that.
yes,
Correct. hmm
exactly. It
hmm
didn't just happen, you know.
People don't want to
We don't go
stay,
to
and there's a
school.
reason. Right.
Most of us don't go to school thinking that we're going to have our own business, but yet we
No,
figure it out because out of
I would never
drive.
have thought that I was going to do that ever. That was not definitely not on my radar.
Right.
Mhm.
I think it's interesting that people, you said something has driven that. And yes, it's probably physicians being unhappy, but it also is consumers being unhappy
Right.
because otherwise they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't they wouldn't
Exactly.
follow their physicians, you know? So, I mean,
hmm
there's a lot going on there, but yeah, that is a whole nother podcast for
That's
sure.
right.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Josie, do you have anything else for Dr. Denise?
No, just, well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and wisdom and all the things there. I'm excited for your next few years with what
Oh
you're
yeah.
building. I
hmm
am super stoked for that. And gosh, I'm a long ways away now, but now I'm like, I'm gonna go up and see her. You know,
You'll
Annie's
have
been
to
saying that for
you'll have
so
to come
long.
visit.
Like you
Uh-huh.
should just come and see her. And I was like, okay, I should.
Yeah, you'll have
Now
to
I'm
come
like, all
visit.
right, let's do it. Let's do it. So that would be fun to
When are
meet
you
up
in your
again.
new space?
September 1st, I hope. We're
Okay.
hoping to be
Okay.
there September 1st.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So that is soon. Good for you.
Yeah, it is soon. It may end up being October. You know how that works. It's
Yeah.
not always right on, but I'm hoping September 1st.
You are definitely in the heat of it then. Heat of all the
Yes, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I think Sophie and I will be. It's less distracting. It's going to be much quieter. It's just going to be it's going to be a good space. It'll be
I do want
fun.
to say one thing. I know you mentioned marketing, and I think Andy and I can both attest to this, that it tends to need to be us when we have a brand, when the brand is a very deep
I
and
think
passionate thing
so.
of
I
ours,
think that you just have more passion for
your
your
own
own
stuff
thing.
and
Yeah.
what goes out, you know.
hmm
So
Well,
I
and it's
there
kind of
are
unique.
yeah,
Your own
yeah,
brand is yours. So,
yeah. So I wouldn't
I
get too
think of
flustered with
authentic.
it. Yes.
Yeah. Right. It's inauthentic if someone else is doing it for you because it's not,
Right.
you. It's not you.
Well, and I have found chat is so helpful. I don't
Mhm.
know if you guys ever use chat at all for advertising.
I use it a lot for ideas and
Yeah.
it
Yep.
scripts things for
Hmm.
me and then I can make it my own. But yes,
Yes.
but
Yep.
it, it starts to learn your language and your funks
Right.
and your,
Hmm.
weird
Yeah.
words
I
that you
have
might
found that
say.
it's been very beneficial for me. I give it an idea and it kind of finishes it for me. So it doesn't look as, unprofessional, I guess,
Hmm.
Mhm.
because I'm not a marketer. I didn't
Well,
go to
and like
school
you
for
said,
that.
finishers, right? Like we need like I'm a visionary and a starter. Like I'll start a lot
Uh-huh.
of things, but I need something to like finish it up for me. Like wrap it up so
Uh-huh.
it's ready and pretty and
Yep.
placed out there.
Hmm.
And
Put the
yeah,
bow on it.
put
Hmm.
the bow on it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
it'll hang in there. I know it's a lot,
Yeah.
but hang in there.
Oh, yeah. It's going well. I'm enjoying it. So
Good.
it's all we can do, right?
Yep.
That's right. Have fun.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yes.
Nice to